What if I say, I know, you know? What if I told you I like you?
The definition of silent way is a method developed by Gatekno, 1970, based on the belief that students should learn independently, not depending on the teacher. Gatekno said that students learn better when they develop personal responsibility for their own learning. So, for many lessons, the teacher remains silent. Learning is seen as being more important than teaching. Students are encouraged to cooperate with one another to think about or understand meaning. Students are introduced to new material using the questionnaire stick. After the teacher introduces the material, it is up to students to determine what they will learn and work independently to achieve their academic goals. And for the approach is silent is considered the best way to learn because with the silent learners concentrate on the task being completed and the potential ways to complete it. Silence, which avoid repetition, become an aid to mental awareness, concentration, and release. The next is procedure of the silent way. The steps that can be taken by teacher in using this method in outset include the first is preliminary. The teacher provides teaching aids in the form of A. Display board with material and B. Questionnaire routes. And the second is the teacher present one language item that is understood. The presentation is only once. At the beginning, the teacher did not say anything, but only pointed to the symbol listed on the display board. The student pronounced the symbol indicated by teacher by pronouncing it aloud. The third is after the student is able to pronounce the sound in the foreign language being studied. The teacher presents a second display board which contains the selected vocabulary. This vocabulary is taken from the sentences that are most often used in daily communication. The fourth is the teacher used a colorful stick that has been provided to lure the student to speak the foreign language that is being studied. And the last is in closing, the teacher can test the success of students in mastering the vocabulary that has been taught by using comments. They are not as verbal as possible as in point number 4 above.
Next to the design, the first is the destination. The general purpose of the silent way is to teach learner how to learn a language and skills development. Through the process of learning, a foreign or second language can be used to learn everything else that is not yet known. And next to the model of syllabus. Basically, the silent way adopt a syllabus in the form of the basic of structure, with lesson or problem around grammar and vocabulary. Getekno did not provide any lexical and grammatical detail. There is no general silent way syllabus. Next to the activity. In the learning process, the teacher only points to a chart containing consonant vowels. The teacher pointed several times silently. After a while, the teacher only gives example of how to pronounce it. In the learning process, the teacher is silent a lot. He only direct or point to the learning material. This is done to focus students' attention, to elicit students' responses and to encourage them to correct their own mistakes. There are several techniques in silent way. The first is sound color chart, and then teacher silence, peer correction, roots, self-correction gestures, word charts, final charts, and structured feedback. Next to the role of teacher and students. Teacher silence may be a rare thing. For many language teachers, this is traditionally trained with demands all aspects of the silent way. The techno side to the teacher for learning, does not mean that the role of the teacher in the silent way is not critical. The techno anticipates that using the silent way could change teacher perception of them. And the last is theory. Silent way is also known for its unique properties as a teaching material for teacher to do silent. These teaching material are in the form of a set of colored blocks, chords, vocabulary, graphics, pointers, all of which are used to describe the relationship between sound and meaning in the target language. Next to the advantages of silent way. The first is students learn independently, not depending on the teacher. And the second is students are encouraged to appropriate with each other to think about or understand meaning. And the last is learners concentrate. And the last is learner concentrate on the thing to be completed and the potential way to complete it. Next to the weakness of the silent way, the first is it seems as impractical in the classroom because students need and want more input from the teacher. And the second weakness from the silent way is basically the basic concept. The silent way gives students the freedom to make choices in the students presented, including in making sentence construction. This method gives the impression that students can master the learning situation.
What if I say I know you know? What if I told you I like you?